that I say we, I shouldn't have said I've already got to let the cat out of the bag probably, that we only decided we would do a few days ago. I am going to get so many grey hairs by the end of this next hour or 45 minutes. And I'm also doing this old school because I'm not at home and I don't have my usual setup. So I'm going to have to say something that I haven't said for a long time, which is that I need to go on the tablet to make sure that everything is coming through loud and clear. Okay. Seem to be okay on the tablet. So many comments already. What have you people been saying? Right, the first comment goes to Otis, who says, wow, that title is very exciting. This is going to be a very special episode, I can tell. I'm going to have to read the other comments later. So, where I am is in what is called the apartment of none other than Simrise in Paris. Back that way is the Arc de Triomphe, and we tried to set up in a room where you would be able to see the Arc de Triomphe, but the lighting wasn't right. What I'm going to be showing today is this. This is brand new, so brand new, it only went on sale on their website 34 minutes ago, okay? From Amouage. You can go to amouage.com now, I am told, to purchase this. Check this out. This is what they're calling their collector's box, which is 45 2-milliliter vials of pretty much everything that is in the current Amouage lineup. And I'm going to be, I can't believe I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be smelling all of these in the next 45 minutes. That's why we're calling it 45 Amouage perfumes in 45 minutes. And joining me to do this, not via StreamYard, not via Zoom connection, let's see if we can do this, is none other than Monsieur Renaud Salmon, went too far there, who is actually right next to me in the Simrise apartment wearing an absolutely stupendous shirt. You look amazing, Renaud.
Thank you very much, Darius.
Thank you very much for doing. Oh, hang on, blotter update. Blotter update for all. No, there will be no blotter update at the end of today's episode. You can see why I completely lose my composure. My jaw literally dropped. Hello, gentlemen, says Angelica. This was Renaud's idea to do this. He said, look, the set is coming out. We knew we were going to be in Paris together at the same time. He said, let's do it. So he managed to find a venue for us. We need to get smelling, yep, because Renaud is working to a tight schedule. But just tell us why. Why now? Why do we need this discovery set now? Why did you think it was an appropriate time to do this?
Well,
while I just look at it and enjoy it.
It's a good one. I think we talked a lot about that the fact that we have lots of Amouage fragrances and lots of people are actually requesting samples, and I wanted to create actually a selection that contains every single Amouage fragrance that we currently sell, and I think, if I'm not wrong, that's most of them, if not all of them. So you have 15 men's fragrances.
I need to do the presentation thing.
So that's the first row, yeah.
Yes.
Then 15 women's fragrances. And finally...
Because you're still making a distinction between men and women. Well, we need to have a chat about that.
Yeah, those we did not change. And then finally, you have the 15 universal fragrances, including 4 special ones that we cannot talk about yet.
But we're going to smell them, right?
Yes.
And what he means by that is that they are 4 new ones, but we're not revealing the names today. I can't reveal the names, but we are going to smell them. Somebody's going to get kicked out of my channel because somebody said Renaud has the better shirt. So that's it. You're not allowed to watch any more of my videos. Where are these shirts from? Yeah, I think Renaud's are probably from a more interesting place than mine. We should also very, very quickly say that the collector's box will come. There are 4 different designs, right? So this is your Pegasus design that you bought today. If you go on the website, you will be able to see the 4 different designs, but the contents are exactly the same.
Correct.
Okay.
And the content is 41 eau de parfum, and then we have the 4 exceptional extraits that we are going to smell.
I need to put my tablet here so that I can see the comments as they're going. I have no idea how we're going to do 45 and 45 minutes. I told Renaud that oh look, Alexander McQueen.
Nice.
Yeah, well done. See, I have the best viewers. Yes, his shirt is Alexander McQueen. We can now. My shirt is not Alexander McQueen. I said part of the deal as well is that I cannot do all the talking. Renaud said that he just wants me to say the first thing that comes to my mind, right? So I'll be very, very frank about the ones that I think are awful, like Meander and Shore. And he also has to be very honest. He has got his blotters ready. He has been labeling blotters. Monsieur Salmon has very, very helpfully made black blotters for Amouage. So you can only use black blotters if you have a white pencil, which he does, but I have not. But he's got 45 times 2 blotters labeled here.
And I'll do the spraying.
And you do the spraying, and we are on the 5-minute mark, so we need to start. What are people saying? You start the first ones. Oh, Christopher Honey is saying hello from Muscat, probably slightly warmer where you are, Christopher.
Hello, Chris.
Paul says, will this set be available for sale somewhere besides online? I imagine it will be eventually. Yeah. An unbelievable treat, says this is Derry. How much is it, says Uslam. Go to the website to see the prices, but basically I think the idea is that it's kind of like the price of 100 mils of product plus a little bit of a percentage increase, so that because you're getting 90 mils here, but you're also getting the beautiful box and the presentation and all the rest of it. We need to start, I know, otherwise we won't be fed. So
I'm taking the first one. Can you guess which one is going to go first? That's the one that started it all.
And by the way, Renaud is not testing me, okay? I said I'm not going to try to guess what they are. You're starting with gold, okay?
Of course.
Yes? Okay. Gold woman?
Gold woman.
Oh, here we go.
No, gold man, actually, sorry. I got it
wrong.
wrong.
Gold man, okay, well.
First one.
It's just so regal, isn't it? My story with Gold Man, do I have time for stories? Very, very quickly, my story with Gold Man. Many, many years ago, I had a colleague at work, and at that time, my office at work was a tiny, tiny little office, barely larger than a cupboard. And I had a meeting with my colleague, and I was wearing Gold Man on that day. And the meeting finished, and she left my office, but then literally 30 seconds later, she came back and she said, by the way, I have to ask you, what are you wearing today? And I said, Gold Man. And she said, that is all you should wear for the rest of your life. And she just kind of left then. It is just still the most heavenly, the most perfect expression of majesty in a perfume. Persolaise, you need to shut up because it's 1 minute per perfume. What do you must be a fan of Gold Man.
Yeah, of course. And I'll give you Gold Woman because I think they work nicely
now,
together.
Gold Woman also will remind me of Madame Persolaise, who is not in Paris with me today. She doesn't wear it a huge amount. We will get to the one that she wears most often, but she does wear it sometimes, and I always think of it as like a really, really stunning kind of Middle Eastern expression of the Chanel No. 5 idea, and I mean that as an absolute compliment, as you know. So it is that kind of beautiful, rich aldehydic floral, but with all of those resins and those incenses and all those sorts of materials pushed to the max. They're such a perfect pair, aren't they? Gold Man and Gold Woman. Are these still? Do they still have quite a strong following?
They do, and I think the beauty of it is that I think it has been quite well. They have been quite well protected. You know, I think they have not changed much. When I smell the very original products that we have in the archives, I think they do still smell actually quite a lot like what they used to smell, despite all of the changes in regulations.
Which is good to know. Number 3.
Number 3.
You said one. You said
keep going.
One. Yeah, absolutely.
So number 3.
While you're spraying, Madame Persolaise has very good taste, particularly in men, right? There's going to be a part 2 of this, said Jeannie. If we survive, let us know which ones you hate, says Woozy.
So we are smelling Dia Woman.
Okay, Dia. I haven't smelled Dia for the longest time. Which one is Jean-Claude Helena? Is it this one? Okay, Dia. Gosh, I haven't smelled Dia for ages.
So the way, if I had to summarize it, I see it a little bit as a more contemporary version of Gold Woman. So it's aldehydic. It has those soapy facets, beautiful white florals, a little bit of rose.
Does it kind of have that kind of cassis thing that he likes as well, or used to like?
I think it does a little bit, but it's not that obvious.
No, it's the most kind of Middle Eastern thing I think I've smelled from him. I'm wondering if I've ever smelled Dia.
I find it.
So let's do Dia Man as well.
Let's do it.
Because that's Monsieur Duchaufour, right?
Correct.
Cool.
So
I wonder who did the reformulation of gold, says Woozy. Well, yeah, we can't take. We'll have to answer the questions later, won't we, Renaud?
Well,
that's a good question, though. His nose will be absolutely shattered at the end of this, says Oslam. Yes, it will. 45. And so this is Dear Man by Bertrand Duchaufour. SSD Fragrance says, definitely I love Gold Woman and Gold Man, the most royal scents in the... Yeah, they really, really are fantastically regal.
This is beautiful.
Ooh. I'm wondering, I think it has been forever since I have smelled these. There's something... See, I can say these things and I know you mean it as a compliment, but there's something really nicely 80s about it.
Mm.
You know, like...
It's very pleasant to wear. It's
lots of incense, isn't there? I would have thought.
Incense.
But hang on, let me try and think of something a bit more concrete to say about it. There's something about if Gold Woman is like the sort of Middle Eastern expression of Chanel No. 5, this is almost giving me like a kind of Fahrenheit feel. There's something very, very kind of classically woody, masculine about it. Has it got some greenness at the top?
Yeah. And it's quite floral.
Yeah. But no, I don't think... Yes, it's ones to revisit. I wish I could buy the Amouage blotters, says Eric, and business opportunity for you, Monsieur Salmon. People want to buy the blotters, which you can't even write on. Whose idea was that? People asking about price. What's the difference between the 58 Omani Rial set and the 150 Omani Rial set? On the website, both of them are 45 times 2 mils.
I don't know.
We'll try to find out. Will you try to find out? Maybe somebody... there must be an Amouage person watching. Maybe they can tell us. Or if we find out, this is...
Reflection Woman.
Okay, this is really bad. I don't think I even knew there is a Reflection Woman.
Yeah.
Maurice Roussel?
Yeah.
Who's Reflection Man?
Lucas Yuzak.
Oh, yes. Ooh.
It's green, it's aldehydic, muguet.
Do you know what I just suddenly got a thing of just then? Like Sécrétion Magnifique, that kind of weird... There's something strange about the white floral here. It's like the Lily of the Valley is a bit alien.
I find it quite sharp.
Yes.
And fresh.
But Reflection is a good name for this.
Yeah.
Well, how come I haven't smelled these before? You sure you're not like sneaking in other ones from other brands in there? Like, what do you have any idea? Because obviously these predate you and your predecessor by quite some way. Do you have any idea what the brief was?
Well, this one was about self-reflection, about looking at yourself in the mirror, and when I say mirror, I think it's a good word for.
Yes, it's very glass-like and very reflective and. Oh, I would imagine this working really well in... I'm just picturing myself walking into that grand mosque in Muscat wearing this, because there's something extremely cooling about it. We're behind time.
I know.
This is 5. We have 40 to go. Yes.
Okay.
I really appreciate a green aldehydic moment, says Angelica. Interlude Woman. Now that is weird. Give us an extrait of that, Renaud, please. An extrait of Interlude Woman. This is going to be Reflection Man.
Reflection Man.
I know that for the longest time this was your brand's bread and butter.
Yeah, it does very well. I can see why.
To me, okay, this is when I have to be really honest. To me, this is the scent of like a beauty salon that is trying a little bit too hard.
Okay.
Where they're not just playing pleasant music, but they're also playing like dolphin music and whale music, and you walk in and somebody's going, oh, come here and I will give you a massage. You don't have to comment, Renaud. This is, there is something a bit, to me, too much about the vanillic base. He's not going to say anything now. Shall we move on?
Well, we could compare that to the exceptional extra version of it.
I prefer that.
Should we do that then? We
now?
Skip, or we wait for later?
Yeah, let's wait.
Okay.
Let's wait.
Honor Woman.
Honor Woman. Can we say that it was made by... I think we should, given where we are.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, Honor Woman was composed by Alexandre Carlin.
2 perfumers.
Oh, sorry. Who's
and
the other one?
Violaine Colas.
Are they both Simrise?
They were, yes.
But now Alexandre is still...
Alexandra is
still...
Yes.
and Simrise are very, very kindly hosting us here. So Honor Woman. I remember the first time I smelled Honor Woman being struck by what I saw as a kind of retro quality. I wonder if I will still think that. I think it's the white floral thing. I seem to remember using the term dowager and then somebody saying I was being a bit harsh, but I meant that very, very nicely. It's got, to me, this sort of makes me think of what a character in a Victorian novel would wear. There's something very, very rich and dense about it, isn't there? And
so it was inspired by Madame Butterfly.
yeah.
Yeah, beautiful white floral. So lily of the valley, jasmine, tuberose, a touch of ylang ylang, then a base of sandalwood.
You don't think that in the nicest possible way that this is, you would call this kind of like mature?
I don't think so.
Experienced? No. Okay.
I find it quite young and pretty, like, and fresh.
Do you have to say that?
No. It's one of the best sellers of Amouage, by the way.
Ah, good to know. All of Cécile Zarakion's Amouages are masterpieces, says Muddy.
Well, we are going to smell them soon.
We are.
First, we smell Honor.
We've done one. Let me do them in fives because that'll be easier. So we've done 5. We're only on 7, Monsieur Salmon.
We need to speed up.
Dépêche-toi.
Okay. So next one, Honor Man.
Oh, I love Honor Man. I had to buy a full bottle of Honor Man. Who made? I can't remember now.
Nathalie Festauer.
Ah, it's again another one of these ones that to me goes into the bracket of gold man, epic man, just so supremely sophisticated and authoritative. Not similar in a kind of smell way. So this, for example, today I'm getting a lot of pepper from this. Yeah, really beautifully peppery. But the first image that came to my mind years and years ago when I smelled Honor Man is still the image that comes now of somebody who's just in the most immaculate, perfectly cut suit, but also a suit that doesn't draw tons of attention to itself. So maybe, just something perfectly grey or pinstripe or just jet black, not overly ostentatious, but just fantastically tailored. Like a kind of Cary Grant sort of scent. Is this one of the ones that you rate in the round?
So I quite like it. For me, it's the smell actually of flying out of Oman, because this is the fragrance that we do have in the bathrooms of the planes when you fly with Oman Air. So
we can't get the smell of a bathroom.
But then you can use it. So you can use the fragrance if you go to the bathroom.
Okay. High-end ancillary product.
Totally.
Right. It's beautiful, and I love the fact that the color for Honor was white.
Yeah.
No, I need to go back to my bottle of Honor Man. That was one that I had to buy for myself.
Okay.
While you're spraying, what are people saying? Have we done Interlude Man yet, says Prashant? No.
Not yet.
While he's spraying as well, I just want to say very, very sort of publicly a huge thank you to Renaud and to Amouage for letting us do this. It's really nice for me to be able to see Renaud again after our last meeting in Oman. I had no idea this was going to happen. Ah, Cécile. So he has just sprayed Epic Woman, which, unless I'm mistaken, was Cécile Zarakion's first or one of her first big wins, commissions, if we can call it that. Or...
Yeah, definitely.
Still really unique, isn't it, somehow?
Yeah, she was actually a junior perfumer at the time.
It wasn't at Robertet, was it?
She was at
Robertet.
Robertet.
Okay, yeah.
With Daniel Morel as well. And I think, she came up with what has become a classic for Amouage. For me, the way I see this fragrance is really like 2 blocks. So one which is peppery and spicy, the other one which is a bit ambery, and then in the middle a beautiful rose.
Totally. It's like the best fragrances. It seems to do those sort of contrasts really well. No, and are we on to Epic Man?
Yes.
Epic Man absolutely is one of my favorites, and I think Epic Man I put into my book. And again, personal story about Epic Man. Years and years and years ago, I was meeting up with one of my best friends from childhood days. We grew up together in Dubai, but now I live in the UK and he lives in the States, but he was over from the States. And I went to Harrods, and Epic Man was newish then, I think. And I just said, let's smell this. and I was just blown away. And then also just a few minutes later, I met up with my friend, and so the two kind of became fused. You know, like Epic Man is now always the smell of meeting him for the first time. Oh. Now the brief for the epic ones were all inspired by the Silk Road, weren't they? And opening beautiful antique Chinese chests. And
for me, this is really like refined, spicy, complex. It's very complex.
Totally agree. But what I also love about it that I pick up as a kind of twist is almost like a note of strange petroleum-y leather, which just adds this twist to it. I cannot get enough of Epic Man. And I love the soap of Epic Man.
Yeah. I mean, and personally, I get some dried fruits as well. Like some like dried plum.
So, 20-minute mark, and we have done 10.
Okay.
Which means
we are way too slow.
Prashant says, just so happens I'm wearing Interlude Man today. It's grown to be such a staple in mainstream Francom that it sounds such a cliche, but I freaking love Interlude Man. Can't get enough. So do I.
Interlude Woman.
Interlude first. Woman. Ooh, weirdness. Oh. Weirdness.
How would you describe this?
I would describe it as a car crash of pineapples and honey. Has this become smoothened over the years, or are we just more...
I think we got used to it.
Maybe, but that does happen, doesn't it? Yeah, it's not smelling as weird
but it's still oddly beautiful in the way.
Oh yeah, totally. And Interlude was supposed to be like the kind of the eye in the storm of chaos, wasn't it? Something like that?
Yeah, the quietness in the middle of the chaos, yeah. So that was the brief.
Mean, if you want a sort of slightly more out there Amouage, Interlude Woman is great. And are you spraying Man now?
I am.
Refined and complex are great words to describe Amouage scents, says Rachel. Totally agree. And also really, really rich. You know, you never get you rarely get anything from Amouage which is sort of monodimensional. I think that's not really a. Are those in the Opus collection included in this box? You're gonna find out.
They are.
Find out. Just Man.
Okay.
See, if Madame Persolaise was here now, this is another one that she loves smelling on me. This was just such an interesting take as well on like oud smoke and burning wood chips. And I think I remember at the time saying that this was the smell of the world ending, and yet you kind of didn't mind. It was like, okay, if this is how the world is going to end, let's all just enjoy it. And what with the news in the UK at the moment, it does feel like the world is going to end any minute. Gino says, hello from Singapore. Just curious, will we see some changes and updates of the names of man or woman in Amouage perfumes?
Not planned.
You're not going to change the old names. No, why would they? Angela says, you're so cute together. Love the sci-fi. Well, the black and white is pretty cool, I think, as well, isn't it? That was not planned.
So what could we say about Interlude Man that has not been said before?
That has not been said before. So much has been said. It's probably the most destructive. You know, it's like you know the goddess Kali in Hindu mythology, who's got like the many arms, but after destruction comes rebirth and resurrection. Maybe that's the thing with Interlude.
The more I smell it, the more I smell this IBQ note, which is like kind of
isobutylquinoline. I think he's using his jargon. Okay, right.
A little bit like asparagus, I think it blends nicely with the oregano note.
Oregano, yeah, good call. Good shout, rather. Rachel, somebody said Ubar. You will not find Ubar in this box.
We talked
pourquoi?
About it. Well, choices.
See, he's spraying off screen, isn't he? He's like, oh no, we can actually see you, can't we? Choices. Yes, Kali the Destroyer, says Angelica. Yeah, there is something of Kali in Overture Woman by Annick Menardo.
Correct.
I enjoyed these as well. Yeah.
One of the first creation I worked on.
So that's right, because Interlude Man was there, but then you came along
Overture
and
Man.
Overture Man was there. So if Interlude Man is Kali, Overture Woman is almost like Kali taking some time out and having a basket of apples, you know, like just because there's something beautifully angry about this as well. I've never met Annick Menardo, but I've always been told that she's a real character. And
So little story on this fragrance.
Go on. I'll give you 5 seconds.
Okay.
Go on.
So basically, I met with Annick, and I wanted, like, I had this idea in mind for this fragrance and so on, and I wanted something quite bold and strong. So I decided to work with Annick, and she came up with this fragrance, and she told me that's the one, which means that she was not going to rework it. She was not going to change it.
Oh, as in she said, take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the kind of thing I've heard about her.
And I took it.
But she has got the experience and the confidence and the talent to be able to say.
And you need to trust, sometimes.
What's the way of saying take it or leave it in French? I mean, I know that, like, what's the equivalent?
C'est ça.
Okay.
C'est fini.
Okay.
C'est bon.
Okay. Scent Genie says the oregano is one of the things I love most about it, so that's going back to Interlude. Ringo Verona says bonjour from Paris, and bonsoir to you, that is exactly where we are as well. What are you giving me?
Oh,
it's your man, yeah. Which I think I first smelt, again, live in a video from the London boutique.
Correct.
With Mr. Chong.
I remember.
I don't wear this often enough. I have a bottle. This is like dry herbal booze. If you sort of did some herb infused liqueur, but then you took the herbs out and put them in a perfume, I think it would smell of this. There's an appley thing here as well, isn't there? Almost like a Calvados type thing. And sharp again. Can you remember who made this? Because I can't.
Yeah, Karine Vanchon.
Ah, okay.
And I can smell like some, I don't know, orange notes as well. A little bit. Spices, some leather.
Good. Another, we are on...
Beautiful one.
14.
So the next one is going to be Portrayal Woman. It was created by 2 perfumers.
I can't remember.
Annick Menardo and Pierre Negron.
Okay.
And I heard that it was, I don't know if it's true or not, but that it was Christopher proposing to mix 2 fragrances.
Oh, okay. Now I must confess, in my head, I get portrayal and imitation mixed up.
Okay.
And I don't know why. I don't know whether it's just the names that... I'm getting an orange blossomy thing from it now. Although, I mean, this is the 15th perfume. Portrayal, I can't remember the idea of portrayal. Imitation, I think, was the one that has a real 70s feel to it.
So
Imitation's not in here, right?
By time travel.
Okay. Or maybe portrayal is the 70s inspired one now. I can't remember.
I can't remember now.
But this is...
So for me, jasmine, tobacco.
Fuzzy white florals.
Yeah, and quite some sweetness behind.
Yeah, snuggly. EcoJog says, it's because of the Henry James literary reference and you taught English, baby, if you say so. What else are people saying? Which fragrance features local Omani frankincense to its best advantage? Good question.
Actually, one might be coming, that I think.
Oh, we're not going to be allowed to name it? Okay.
Let's see.
Right. It's a shame I'm not there with a single malt scotch and a blotter as well, says Angelica. I know, can you imagine if like all of you were actually here? Portrayal Man.
Wow.
Yes.
So,
maybe my nose is
violets.
This isn't a serviette, no. Yes, absolutely, violets.
Leather. This one gives me, actually you mentioned Fahrenheit.
Yes, totally. The violet leaf is, yeah, absolutely, we're getting...
It's beautiful.
It is, and I have these in my collection, but maybe there was a moment when some of them kind of melded into one. There was that period when we had myths and Figment. Journey? Is that Journey?
Journey a bit before. Portrayal.
They're not in here. I don't see them in here.
Journeyman, we do.
Okay. And who made Portrayal? Can you remember?
Pierre Negron.
Okay. Yeah.
Portrayal
Again, another one to revisit. Portrayal Man is intoxicating in a very good way, says Yura. Yes. Woozy says, I'm just waiting for Enclave to come up so Persolaise goes on one of his anti-Woody Amber rants. I've already told him.
So I'll give
But I love Meander.
I'll give you two at the same time.
Yes.
Jubilation 25 woman.
Ah, Jubilation, of course.
And then Jubilation 25 man.
So I'm smelling woman at the moment, which still, on this blotter now is a really, really convincing, beautiful nouveau chypre, modern
Yes.
chypre. I really, really, but I always forget. Now, Jubilation man was Duchaufour,
Yes.
and woman was the Elena brother, right?
Yes.
Is it Bernard? No.
Yes.
Yes.
I think so.
I think.
Now
Well,
I have a doubt.
Don't quote us. Renaud, please make a Jubilation extrait. Says, oh, you can't request. It's Mark requesting it. Fragrentias of Mark. Yeah, that doesn't count.
No.
Amouage employees can't be putting plugs in for what they want from the brand. Rachel says, super grateful for Amouage's focus on local ingredients and sustainability since Renaud's tenure started.
Mm-hmm.
Hello from Iran, says Contrast, sending all of you very, very good thoughts and good wishes. Jubilation man, I always reach for still. I still always have to have a bottle when I want a very, very clean but gently spicy incense. I don't want the kind of sort of burst of spices that I get from Epic, that I enjoy from Epic. It's go on.
Yeah,
what are you gonna say?
It's quite regal. It's for me it's plum, spices, then somehow like the warmth of pine woods, and I find it beautiful.
But Jubilation Woman, smelling it now as the sort of 17th or 18th fragrance, is also giving me a strong feel of opium. There's a kind of plumminess there as well, isn't there?
And quite aldehydic, like
Yes,
more than
definitely.
what I remember.
And quite malic on this bottle.
Yeah.
More so than I remember. Jubilation is complex, says Yura. I can never quite figure it out. And I think that goes back to what we were saying earlier, is that you don't very often from Amouage get sense that you just, within a few moments think, oh yeah, I get it. They stand up to repeat wearings. You were going to say?
No, now we are going to do a few men's fragrances because...
Muddy, I like this one. If my house was on fire, the first thing I'd save is my Amouage collection. What, not your family? Assuming you say. He's actually said, then maybe my family if there's time. Okay, we do not encourage this sort of behavior because you can replace your perfumes. Amouage has a very strong presence here in Iran. I hope it continues to do so, says Contrast. This is
Memoir Man.
Memoir Man.
Karine Vanchon. It's very green. Smells like absinthe and...
Yes. That's it. Was it the smoky grey bottle?
It's black.
Black?
Yeah.
That's
Also,
it. That's the wormwood one.
Wormwood.
My nose is losing it. How many have you been able to sell in one go?
Well, I think we are going to smell all of them.
No, I know, but I mean, like do you? At what point do you think that your nose is kind of really needing a?
Probably after 20. Yeah.
This is 19. Memoir Man is criminally underrated. One of the best modern fougères, in my opinion.
I love it. Personally, it's one that I reach out.
It wasn't, at the time I remember thinking it wasn't. I appreciated that absinthe note. It was quite unusual at the time.
Yeah.
But it's not one that I've sort of sought out for my collection. But it's the greenness that's coming out.
Yeah, it's green, it's dark, it's cold, it's a bit wet. It's very, serene and beautiful. So this is Karine Vanchon.
Who has done quite a lot,
Yeah.
hasn't she? Yeah.
I love it.
While you're spraying the next one, when you sort of took up your role, Renaud, and I know you have completely made the role your own now, but when you looked at some of these other ones, did you kind of think, oh my God, this is a tough act to follow?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, it's so strong, isn't it?
Well, and I had to study everything to make sure that I don't do something that is too redundant as well.
True. Apparently I'm channeling the Memoir Man bottle. I suppose I am with those. Yeah. And we're coming up to what you're channeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he knows what he's
Topic
doing.
of the day.
Memoir Man also makes a great office scent, says Woozy. Just do Interlude for the office, just to get everybody to move out of the way. Journeyman.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I remember thinking this was strange.
You find it strange?
I do, because to me it was like a journey into a dark cellar.
Mm-hmm. So for me it's a spicy tobacco.
Okay.
Bit leathery, and also
Definitely.
again like those dried fruits that I find regularly in a few of the older fragrances.
Do you know what the brief for this one was? I mean, what kind of journey was it meant to be?
I'm not sure.
I would imagine it was not meant to be a kind of literal journey. It was probably some kind of metaphorical. Yeah, I remember at the time thinking it was. Maybe there was something about how the leather looked like it was, or felt like it was shouting away that made it a bit much for me to take. I think for me this one was always trying to prove a little bit too much that it was like had a big hairy chest. I don't know.
I can see that.
Yeah, and 20, we're not even halfway there.
So next
But actually
one,
we're doing okay for time.
Interlude Black Iris.
Oh, that's terrible. Who released that was flankers.
So this was my first actually
Yes.
creation for Amouage, and the idea was actually I was not familiar at all with the archive of Amouage, so I decided actually to do a creative interlude, taking interlude and then giving a few, I guess, indications, of also my taste, my personality, and what I perceived was important for Amouage. The nuance. This one added Oris, violet as well, to smoothen a little bit.
Yes, and I remember that's
composition.
exactly what we said, because I think that was one of the first times I interviewed you, wasn't it? When Interlude, this one came out, and it felt like the original one with a little bit of the roughness smoothed out. Yeah. I don't want to like praise you in front of you. It's really, really cringy. It's horrible.
You don't have to. Can move to the next one.
No, I really like it. I'm very, very glad that. And I think it's a really fascinating addition. Overture was my most used scent this summer, says Carlos, who is saying hello from Chihuahua. Wow, what time is it? No, it's not too bad, I suppose. Beach Hut. I wore Beach Hut quite a lot. Is Sunshine Man in here?
No.
Is Sunshine Man still around?
Yes.
Okay. Beach Hut was really fun, somehow. Good name for it. It's really, really sunny and optimistic, but it also has that smell of like straw. What's the word I'm looking for? Like those beach mats that are not made of plastic, but are made of like.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, pie.
There's those kind of, not rattan, but those sort of natural material mats.
For me, it's very minty, but in a very natural way.
Yeah.
And I think the beauty of it is it's a fragrance that is extremely fresh in a way, but quite long lasting and quite diffusive as well.
Totally. I remember wearing that a lot. And I will take the next one that you're going to spray.
Sure.
I'm not being rude, right? But we have got somebody breathing down our necks.
We move.
And while you're spraying, I will just take a few seconds out as we are at the 38-minute mark to say that this is what we are doing. Amouage have just, in the last hour, released what they're calling this collector's box, which is 45 2-milliliter vials that represent pretty much everything that is available from the range at the moment. And Monsieur Salmon has very, very kindly offered to talk us through it. And we are here in one of the offices of Simrise in Paris, with the Arc de Triomphe behind us and the sun setting somewhere, and we're very, very lucky to be able to do this. And somebody has said, are you including the blotters with the set as well?
We are not. But
You missed a trick there.
One fragrance every day.
Lilac Love, I liked those ones. I know we're going to get to the
Secret
Mimosa.
Garden collection.
Yeah.
So
Nicely
Lilac
done,
Love,
really nicely done.
the idea behind the Secret Garden collection is always to have a floral accord and a gourmand accord. So in this case, lilac and cocoa.
Makes sense. If I did know that, I'd forgotten. And we were saying how Amouage perfumes always have to be like multi-dimensional. I think it's in the Secret Garden collection that things are Amouage at its, I'm going to say simple, but in a good way, not simplistic. These are the ones that kind of do what they say on the tin. It's very unusual for an Amouage scent to have an ingredient name checked in the name, right?
Correct.
But lilac is really, really nicely done. And what's that one?
So the second one,
Go on.
second one is Blossom Love. So we had Lilac Love, Blossom Love. So Lilac Love, sorry, is Lilac and Cocoa.
Yeah.
Now this one, Blossom Love, is Cherry Blossom and Amaretto.
Cool. And I think I would say spray tuberose and mimosa as well now, so that we can just kind of do a
We
foursome.
do the 4 of them together.
So Blossom. Yeah, I struggle with cherry blossom in perfume sometimes.
So it's an accord.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
I guess it's because it's so difficult to convey that delicacy and also make it recognizably. Tuberose, I think I remember thinking that Love Tuberose I liked.
So this is tuberose
Ooh,
and
yes.
whipped cream.
Tuberose and whipped cream.
And Love Mimosa.
On which note, tuberose, we're talking about gourmand, would somebody like a macaron? I haven't had one of them yet, actually. I do like it. And Love Mimosa, I love the Mimosa. I think it's my favorite from the Garden one. This was originally released, I think, to coincide with International Women's Day, whenever it was happening in that year.
Love
Just
Mimosa.
such a nice mimosa.
Mimosa and pear. And quite some aquatic notes as well.
Yes, but really nicely done,
Yeah.
I think. And mimosa can so often be done in a way that just smells, to put it bluntly, that smells a bit cheap, a bit unconvincing. But this has got that kind of milky, creamy, buttery powderiness that you just want from a really good mimosa. I very, very often ask Madame Persolaise to wear this one. She does have a bottle of that, and I would, sometimes she actually asks me, surprise, surprise, what I would like her to wear. And if it's an Amouage, I may sometimes say, just wear Love Mimosa. Have a macaron for me, says Angelica. I will later on, thank you very much. I enjoy Blossom Love for spring, says Olfactive Stories. Beach Hut Man is my number 1 for summer, says Muddy. I need to re-smell that, actually.
Good choice.
It is really nice, yeah.
So now we are moving to the 4 exceptional extrays.
See, now this is where we got to the sort of the dodgy bit, because it was from this point onwards that I haven't really been saying very much about Amouage. So I'll just sort of smell and go,
So Honor 43.
So Honor 43 is the exceptional extrait that goes with Honor Woman, correct?
Yes, and why is it 43?
Because it's concentrated at 43%?
Correct.
He said he wasn't going to test me. I think I can objectively say that I definitely prefer this to the original Honor Woman. But it's the same perfumer, right? It's Alexandre Carlin.
Alexandre Carlin only. So
Only, as opposed to her colleague at the time. And this is... So, if Honor Woman was like a character in a Victorian novel wearing white florals, this is this character having a scene in the Victorian novel where she's visited by some angels who are bringing this scent down from the heavens, because there is something very, very beautifully white and heavenly about it, isn't there?
I think the beauty of that extrait is that it kept the sparkling character and the petally character of the fragrance, but making it even more dense and richer in a way. So
yeah. There's another idea for you, Renaud. Yura says, I want my discovery box to open with a pre-recorded Monsieur Persolaise, my voice, saying, Marhaba, to discover the beautiful Amouage perfumes. I'd give you a good rate. I could do my voice.
Yeah.
I'll give you a discount. Can you imagine that? Oh, Reflection. So this is Reflection 45.
You recognized it?
Yeah, obviously.
Okay.
It's like, it's well, the thing about Reflection is that no matter what I may think of it, it is super distinctive.
Yeah.
Isn't it? And again, I much prefer this version to the original. Did you get the original perfumer to kind of approve
Lucas
it?
Yozak.
Wow.
No, he did it actually. So,
He did it?
And he changed company and so on, but I really wanted to work with him on this. We added quite some orris. Also quite some incense and also some lavender. So
And you have just passed under my nose 53, which is
Interlude 53.
Interlude 53 we've talked about as well, so that's the exceptional extrait of Interlude concentrated at 53%. I think the internet exploded a little bit when you announced that one, with people talking about beast mode and performance and all of those sorts of terms that we don't like, but Interlude 53 is pretty astonishing. And this is like Kali on steroids, who's joined by, what are some of the sort of gods and goddesses of destruction in other myths? So, Medusa's here as well, turning everybody into stone. And is Anubis the god of death in Egyptian mythology?
It is, no?
I think that he's here as well. They're all here. They're all here. They're all here, just killing everybody inside, and everybody's just quite happy to die as they're coming in. And 56 is Epic.
Epic Woman.
Epic Woman, Cécile Zarakian. Ooh. She must have enjoyed being able to revisit this.
Yeah.
Has she upped the rose, or?
Well, and she upped the rose, she upped the pepper as well, and the ambery facets. And she was very, very keen actually on working at the highest concentration possible.
And she got to 56.
Yeah.
Which is, and the other 44% is another Amouage perfume, right? That she's like, no.
So, and no, the remainder is alcohol for now.
So we have done 2 lines. We have 15 to go.
We are done with men's, we are done with women's.
Cool.
And now we go to what we call universal.
Okay.
Okay?
So let's make sure that we do the 11 of them really quickly, so that the 4 unnamed ones.
Okay.
Because in case you didn't catch it, there are 4 brand new scents here. Obviously, if you order the set, you will get to find out what they're called. But Monsieur Salmon has asked me not to name them because he wants to keep it a mystery, because he's like that.
So I'll start with the library collection. We've talked quite a lot about it,
Yes.
so that might be quite fresh for your nose.
The library collection, and I promise I will now dangle Renaud from the top of the Arc de Triomphe to say, why are you getting rid of? So this is, okay, you need to take one.
Opus 5.
Madame Persolaise has far, far, far better things to do with her life than to watch my videos, but this is just going to be the smell of her now. It's amazing. She wears this so much. Sorry, this is Opus 5 that was composed by
Jacques Cavalier.
Jacques Cavalier. And I remember at the time, actually, in my review, being very, very dubious about it. But little did I know, it's actually become a little bit like one of those sort of signature scents of Amouage, hasn't it?
Yeah. One of the best sellers as well.
Unbelievably distinctive, a really, really interesting take on sort of like oudi iris. I can think of nothing else like it. And it's just like my wife has walked into the room because it's totally her scent. And I must confess, sometimes I ask her not to wear it like too late in the evening because it's so powerful that, you know,
It is.
I mean, it is amazing, but I don't know. Actually, no, I'm going to start giving away too much personal information. I'm getting drunk on the perfumes now. Opus 7?
Yes, Opus 7. So that is something else.
Ah, yeah, now I remember this.
So
This
it's
isn't the Alberto Morillas one, is it?
Alberto and Pierre Negrin.
This was like the weird
Yeah.
green stones.
For me, green and leather clashing.
Yes, but sunlight beating off stones and so unusual.
Very galbanum.
Yeah, totally. And I remember at the time, because this was under Christopher Chong's creative direction, I think he had been wanting to do something galbanum based for a long time. And I think he just wasn't happy. And then, he hit on this. And Opus 7, the peak of Alberto Morillas, says Woozy. Actually, I think he was pushed outside his comfort zone for this one, wasn't
But
he?
I think Pierre came with the some of the bold accords in this fragrance.
Incredibly peppery as well, isn't it? It's like
Yeah.
something. Why is it called Woods Symphony in spite of the iris dominant note? Yes, why?
It's a beautiful one. Let me think about it. Why is it called Wood Symphony?
You don't have time to think.
There are quite some woods in it,
Yeah.
and in a way, it's a symphony actually between human beings and technology. That was like the inspiration
idea,
as
yes.
well. So how human beings could live with technology or not.
This is either, I don't know if you know the answer. I suppose you must know the answer to this. Does Amouage use Persian galbanum? Do we use much Persian galbanum, Iranian galbanum? Now? It's harder to source now, isn't it?
Yes. So I don't think so.
Opus 12.
Rose incense.
Rose incense, yes, of course. This didn't start life as an opus. Renaud turned it into Opus 12. And again, it is what it says. It's rose and incense.
And an ink accord in between.
Okay, I wouldn't. Okay, if you say that, maybe. I've always seen like a strange gummy fruit that's kind of joining
really?
the incense and the rose. No, personally, I wouldn't have said ink. But we're allowed to disagree on some of them, aren't we?
Of course.
And Opus 13, which is one of yours, but again, that didn't start as an opus. It is now Opus 13. It started as Silver Oud. Cécile, right?
Correct.
Cécile Zarakian. Geez, I don't remember this being this. Have you... Oh, that's filthy, isn't it? In the nicest. These are the ones that when I wear them, Madame Persolaise will go, ooh, that's gorgeous. What is that? And my standard response now is, you're not having it, because she has taken away too many from me. This is a... When I say a disgusting oud, I mean that as the best possible compliment. It's just so filthy. It's like Kali and Medusa and Anubis have just thought, yes, let's just throw ourselves into the barn and have a party because the world has ended. Christopher Honey is saying rose incense with 3 hearts. What have you got? And Opus 14. Tell us about Opus 14. So, in 30 seconds.
Royal tobacco. So the idea was to actually connect Oman and Cuba through 2 iconic ingredients: incense, so royal frankincense, and tobacco absolute. And I worked with Cécile Zarakian to really create a beautiful composition that's quite complex. Lots of ingredients, some fruity notes, some green notes, a strong licorice note, I think, and some woody notes.
And you talked about it in an interview on my channel anyway.
Yep.
And the shirt is supposed to tie in with Opus 14, which it really does. Oh no, we have to do 10 more.
Okay.
I think we've done extremely well.
So,
if the person who needs Renaud to be on time for his next appointment is getting a little bit annoyed now, sincere apologies, but we can't stop now with 10 to go.
We are going to rush.
We hope you will understand.
So, Enclave, Julien Rasquinet.
Oh, these are terrible. Who released these?
I don't know.
These are whose idea was this?
Okay.
Some Belgian guy turned up and...
What are we smelling?
Enclave is what you
Persolaise.
put under the Odyssey collection.
Correct, the Renaissance part of the Odyssey collection.
The Renaissance part, they came out as a quartet, and Enclave is the one that starts with a kind of minty note that goes...
of Musandam.
Though, yeah, because they were inspired by the 4 different regions of Oman, and some woody ambers.
Yes.
Woozy says Enclave is Persolaise's favorite amouage. I love how you know me so well. It's like I've got these people who know the depths of my soul from across the world.
But I think Enclave, it's more than that.
Yeah, well done, Renaud. Well done for Enclave. That's really good. Yeah. You must Crimson Rocks. Which region?
The Alajar Mountains.
The mountains, with the roses growing in the mountains.
Correct. So you smell honey, roses, and oak wood.
And it's really crimson.
Yes.
And somehow soft and welcoming and yet powerful.
Yeah.
Because there's such a majesty in those mountains as well. And yet suddenly there comes this beautiful burst of delicacy when you see these roses. Just these flashes of red and flashes of pink. So
I get lots of cinnamon today.
Yes, yeah. It will be well judged in woody amber, says Woozy, when they literally list it in the notes as the chemical name.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, I will give you that much. As far as woody ambers go, if I have to wear a woody amber, I would probably go for Enclave.
What about Ashore?
Oh, I love Ashore. That's another one that I got a full bottle for Madame Persolaise. One of the most stunning jasmines I have smelled for a long time. This is by Mackenzie Riley, right?
Correct.
Oh, just so romantic and so... I nearly said her name then. Jeez, that was really bad. Madame Persolaise took this with her for our summer holiday this year, and it's just taking me back now to the south of France. I had no idea she was so connected with this brand, because I'm like looking at there's Opus 5, there's Gold Woman, there's Mimosa,
and Ashore.
Ashore it's just how that saltiness just really, really works so well alongside the jasmine. Such special work, and also so creamy and so many different things going on. You need to work again with Mackenzie Riley.
Yes. So this one was inspired by the coast of Oman,
Correct.
and particularly the closest point to India, that is called Ras Al Jeans. And we imagined actually, you know, the smell of flowers coming from India, mixing with the salty notes of the sea.
Rachel says, love this fragrance. And a question from Yura, does Ashore have real ambergris?
No.
Good, simple answer. JR says, oh wow, I just tuned in and you are actually sitting in one room together. I know, sometimes cool things happen. We are actually in the same room together. And Meander was my personal favorite of the four, because I just loved what's been done with the incense here, but I can't remember who the perfumer was. Mackenzie Riley. Because it seems to have a kind of, it's got that kind of iris incense inflection thing. What's the main thing for you?
Yeah, I like the carrot hard note. So lots of people think that, okay, it smells like carrot, but it actually smells a bit like orris and ambrette.
Yeah.
I mean, I find that there is this kind of muddy quality to it. You know, like some more liquid sandalwood.
Does Meander use Australian grown Mysore sandalwood, says Woozy?
I would need to check the actually where the sandalwood comes from.
What I'm impressed by with Meander is that even though it's not like a sort of shouting scent, it is, I'm going to say, surprisingly long lasting.
Yeah.
It lasts longer than a scent like this would, that I would have expected it to. We're doing well. We've got 6 left. We are doing well.
We are going to smell material.
Material, Boundless and Material were the other duo that you gave us.
Who came up with this name?
No, we don't talk about that, do we? No, I've never said anything about who came up with the names. Amouage, you chose the names. Amouage came up with it. Now, Material is the one by Cécile Salakion.
Yeah.
I have had so many people since it came out say to me that they think it is the best vanilla ever made. It is certainly up there as one of the most fascinating kind of essays, perfumery essays on vanilla. Come on, Mr. Persolaise, break out in some karaoke, says Euro. Hang on, I don't get it. Why are we talking about karaoke? What happened?
I don't know.
Oh, do you mean to start singing Material Girl or something? Or like, it's Material is deep, isn't it? It's almost like, who needs top notes? Let's just get straight into the business.
It's so balsamic and resinous.
Yes. And Boundless. People are saying we don't know your opinions on these. Yeah, I know. I'm being compromised here now. But I did say to Renaud that honesty is the only policy. Boundless is by Karine.
Correct.
By Karine Vachon. I will now reveal that I love wearing Boundless. As you know, if you're a regular viewer, I adore spice scents where the spice opening is so precise and so photoreal that you can almost actually see every single spice there in the spice souk, and you can go, oh yeah, there's the nutmeg, there's the cinnamon, there's the pepper, there's the this, that. And Boundless does that. It's so holographic, isn't it?
Yeah. It's very colorful. It was inspired by this rainbow eucalyptus tree. Lots of things going on.
Definitely.
But we need to move to the last 4.
Are we on the last 4? So, just be careful that I don't name them, that I don't say what they are. So these are brand new. They're not actually going to properly come out. Do we know when they're properly going to come out?
I think in a few months, probably early 2023.
Early 2023, but if you order the collector's box, you get to try them now. Because I need to be careful now, what are you going to reveal about them? Are you going to reveal who made them, or you don't even want to do that?
Yeah, we could. Yes, that's a good idea. So, I'm going to give you a letter. So this one is S.
Okay, S. S is by?
S is by Alexis Grujon. So first time that this perfumer works for Amouage.
Okay, now the thing is coming back to me, what you were saying during the development. So I'm getting a gigantic lemon that is also crossed with like a dried lime, like an Omani lime, and it's a cleansing fire. It's like freshness and fire at the same time. If a fire could be fresh, it would smell like this, and there's a leatheriness coming through from that. So you have got 30 seconds to tell us about S.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got like the those black lemons, right? It's not only about lemon, it's also mandarins, bergamot, and so lots of citruses.
It's probably the most overtly citrusy that we've smelled
think
here.
so,
Okay, because there was like a gap, wasn't there?
Yeah. And then woods, lots of woods. Kate.
Sorry, I'm not... Comment. When life gives Renaud lemons, he gives them to Persolaise. Yeah, very good. And for my next guest, Beyonce.
So yeah, lots of woods and pyrogenic notes as well, giving that smoky aspect to them as well.
Interesting. S.
Yeah.
You have literally heard about this here first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Exclusive. Live from the Arc de Triomphe.
So now we are going to smell L.
So S was by Alexis Grujon.
Okay, and
Now L
is by Karine Vinchon.
L by Karine Vinchon. Even I actually at this moment can't remember the name, which is why I can't remember why Renaud has gone for L. Oh yeah, okay. Ooh. We should have started with these because my nose is like really, I'm getting strange, kind of slightly evil incense. And is this the one that you were going to say showcases the Omani?
So this one actually contains several qualities of incense. The previous one we smelled actually has this beautiful Ojari quality of Omani.
So S contains specifically the Omani
the
incense.
four actually of them contain incense.
Okay.
Different qualities, different origins.
But well, so by the way, I should say when I say evil incense, I mean that as a compliment, you know. So this is like, who's the witch in The Little Mermaid?
Huh.
It's not. I haven't actually seen Little Mermaid, but you know the one I mean.
Yeah.
So,
but then, yeah, I think we are definitely going to the sea with that fragrance.
Yes, that's it. Okay. Marine notes.
Okay.
He's trying to kill me. Ursula, yes.
Yes.
It could be the smell of Ursula.
So it's quite lactonic.
Yes. And that kind of takes us almost into, not exactly, but with sort of some lactones, I always think of Kenzo Jungle.
Mm-hmm.
And
quite some sandalwood.
yeah, like an incensey Kenzo Jungle with marine notes.
And
interesting.
Spices. Lots of spices. So more
Interesting. So L.
Next one.
2 to go. Can you believe we have 2 to go? We have gone over the 60-minute mark.
We need to hurry up.
1,000 apologies. Oh, Mr. Raspopital says, I really like Quentin Biche's work. Does Mr. Raspopital work for you?
No, I don't think so. Let's see. But the next one is actually by Quentin Biche.
So this is by Quentin, and we're calling this one
G.
G. It's like chewing gum vetiver.
That's a weird description of it.
Yeah, but so jealous that you get to smell these new ones already. Hang on.
Can you still smell? So
let's recalibrate with. Yes, I can. I totally recognize Epic Man there. Yeah, don't worry. The nose is still working. Vetiver, Amouage does vetiver tonka, says Woozy. No. It's like a sweetened vetiver. But let's go on. Tell us about it.
Okay, so you're smelling indeed. So a bit of vetiver, some hazelnuts. So Quentin worked on this hazelnut accord, then some rose, some incense. There's quite a lot of incense in this. Cassis, a little bit, and many other things. I'm going to
put some on the back of my hand. This is G. Cassis. Okay, so there is something unexpected about it. And finally we have...
The last one is P.
P.
And P is by Quentin as well.
Oh, 2 by Quentin Biche.
Yes.
Last one, folks. Last one at the 64-minute mark.
Okay.
Longest Love at First Scent episode ever. Now this is vetiver again, but more strikingly, no. Am I just losing it now? Just help me out.
Follow smelling. So we are indeed smelling the vetiver, but
Yeah.
a special quality of it because it's grown in the sand, which gives it this
As opposed to soil.
to the soil.
Okay.
Which gives it a very mineralic vibe.
Yes.
It's quite smoky. It's quite peppery as well.
But it's the most overt vetiver from Amouage.
I think so.
Like a kind of
Yeah.
vetiver.
Yeah.
If you want vetiver, you know.
But then there are many things going on.
Yes.
Some leather as well behind it. Some woods.
Oh.
It's quite different, right?
So, okay, so G. I'm getting a lot of sweetness from G.
Uh-huh.
Whereas P. Oh, sorry. I was thinking, how can somebody say what their favorite is, but then you know? Because somebody's saying P is my favorite, but it is somebody who does know. Okay. Yes, I think maybe I'm with you on that one. Let's just do S again. Although that lemons on fire thing of S is fascinating. Okay, so you have got a treat in store, folks, because P is kind of, you know, for those of you who like your vetivers in the style of Encre Noire or Sycamore or Guerlain vetiver, you know, like a vetiver extraordinaire, one of those vetivers where you want everybody to know that you're wearing a vetiver, then Renaud has given you that in the form of P, but of course with an Amouage twist to it. Right.
We need to go.
We need to go. Thank you so much for watching. Huge thanks to you, Renaud, for doing this. I'm going to have to, at some point when I have got a little bit more time, go through the comments and see what people have been saying. I'm sure there are going to be a load more comments actually when we finished with the video as well, when the broadcast is over. Massive thanks to you. Massive thanks to Simrise for letting us do this. Any final words from you?
No, thank you everyone for watching. We hope it was not too much. That was quite intense. We tried.
Have I earned my dinner now? No, seriously, thank you very much, Renaud. Very, very special. Let's do one last shot of this. This is available now on amouage.com. The Collector's Box, 45 vials of Amouage. And hope we get to do this again soon, next time in London.
Okay.
Again, I have to do something I haven't done for a long time. I have to poke your eyes out. So thank you for watching, folks. Bye now.